Welcome, everybody, to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal. My dude to my right or my left, I think it's my right. Who knows? Pedro trying to dance again. Mr. Bet on you.
I'm just doing that so you can use it in a clip at some
I
point.
know I'm gonna use more of your dancing because I think people enjoy it very much. So,
I like to
uh,
be made fun of. It's fine. I'm good with it.
yeah, as long as it's working, right? As long as it works. Appreciate everyone that's already in the chat throwing in
What up? Some
movie
bangers.
titles.
Okay.
Got Bravo here, Kuala. Y'all already dropped him. Pia, I'm sure gonna talk something about my Giants. We'll talk about that. And Nova's on here on time. Isn't that interesting?
We're gonna. I want to get to the Giants in the game before we get into the bread and the butter. So
We can skip if you want, bro. Like we don't want to talk
Nope,
about
nope.
football, 'cause,
Let me take over. Hold up. I'm going to take over for a second. Hannibal is usually our eloquently spoken, very measured.
I can't
host
talk. I
here.
gotta stop talking. You're right.
But
Go ahead.
I'm going to take over for 2 minutes. Now I see Nova in here. Listen, I
Nova, you
watched
know.
some of the game. I watched a lot of football. Y'all know, that's what I do on Sundays. I don't work. I'm lazy bum on Sundays. I sit on my couch with my daughter. I got my feet up, a beer in the hand, some chips, some soup, some chili, watching football. That's what I do every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I send a little voicemail or whatever to my boy. I'm like, Hannibal, listen, man, I don't know about this game. It's going to be crazy. I'm rooting for you, but I don't know. And I'm kind of not watching the whole game, but I got Red Zone on, so I'm flipping through a little bit. And I'm like, all right. At one point, there's so many different times. I'm like, I think Washington's going to win. Oh, no, New York looks like they got this. It's getting to the end. Heineke, I think, has got the ball. The Redskins kind of tied. They do something at the end, right? I'm like, okay, they go into overtime. Each team has the ball, like, I don't know, 8 times in overtime.
Yeah.
Something crazy. Missed field goals, crazy things happening. And, it's very fitting that there's a tie. I think ties in football are hilarious to me. When you have two teams that can't score a field goal,
It's frustrating.
Between the two of them, frustrating, right?
Yeah, frustrating.
So it's almost like, do they go to college rules where you get it at the 30-yard line where like you see more action? I don't know. But listen, if the Giants would have lost, that would have put y'all in last place. And I've been saying, I think the Giants are going to finish in last place. And that's what would have happened. So I'm glad that it didn't happen yet. I still think it's going to happen. I think they play in a couple of weeks again. It was not pretty football sometimes. Play calling on both sides was questionable, to say the least. Quarterback play was spotty on both ends. And a tie in football is not. You want to either feel pissed because you lost or really happy because you won. A tie just kind of makes you feel indifferent. So that's my take on it. Are you done? Have you licked your wounds? Or have you and Nova talked? I mean, you guys really can't talk shit about the game.
We both like don't have anything to say really. Me and my enemy Nova Dasher. Check out his channel, Nova Dasher. Yeah, it was for the Giants side. It was a winnable game. They let slip away. So it was a winnable game, and there were a lot of times where they should have had that win, and they definitely needed it. They're still in the wild card race. They're in second. They got the second spot. They are just ahead of Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's a team that you don't want to necessarily play because they play hard too.
They do. And they got playmakers on it. They got Seattle. Geno Smith's having a great year, and they got Lockett and Metcalf, and they lost a running back, Walker, I think. Pete Carroll's really good head coach. So that Seattle's a tough out in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah. Nova comes in with we're clapping them cheeks on Sunday Night Football. Who's playing Sunday Night Football? And how are we clapping them cheeks? What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, Nova. I don't know what that means, but
you know what clapping cheeks?
I mean, I do, but not in football.
Whoever's gonna beat our ass, someone's gonna beat our asses, which is fine. Matthew, Nova, and Hannibal looking at wounds, and Paige over there with the salt shaker.
Listen, I'm super salty. My Bears lost. I got to say that. I hate Aaron Rodgers. Hate's a strong word. I strongly dislike everything about Aaron Rodgers. I dislike how he plays. I don't like how he looks. I don't like the women that he smashed in his life.
He had a little bit of money. It was like, I'm good.
How you drop the bag? Okay, listen. Aaron Rodgers is a goofball. He's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Dude's got one championship. Eli Manning's got more Super Bowl rings than Aaron Rodgers. All he does is complain. They don't give him.
Okay,
You
who
know,
you
I
pick?
hate him.
You gonna pick Eli Manning, or if you had your team, Eli Manning or Aaron Rodgers? Are you okay? We can't have an honest conversation because even
You gonna
I'm
let me? You gonna give me a minute? Hold on, let me think.
honest.
Geno Smith. I'll take Geno Smith over the. I'll take Danny Dimes. I hate Aaron. Listen, you don't understand. Like if he got
Oh
traded to the Bears, I would have to not root for the Bears. That's how much I dislike
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
I mean I don't know what's going on over there. I know that the Giants still need a quarterback. That's pretty evident. I mean,
Yeah,
what else are we going to do more? I think the coach is still solid. He's working with what he has.
he's a rookie coach
Um,
too. I mean,
he's
yeah,
a rookie coach too, but I just don't see a future with Daniel Jones. I felt that way in the beginning. I think a lot of people do. Who knows what is going to happen in the future? But yeah, and it looks like I'm reading some stuff. I'm not a big baseball guy, but it looks like to me, and you let me know if you're correct. I don't know if you've been checking out, but the most popular player on the Yankees, 62 home runs, whatever home runs he had, right?
hmm
Broke some records. Um, they seem like they're undercutting him with the Yankees or with some of their contract extension. I think it's like 300 million is all they're offering. He's an older dude, but what's going to happen is some of the team, probably I think probably the Giants or something like that, is going to pay unnecessary amount, like a ridiculous amount of money, and he's
yeah.
going to leave. And like, should you try to offer that and match? Now, I don't know as much baseball. If one guy makes such a big difference that you need to pay him $400 million for 10 years, I don't know. But it looks like Aaron Judge is going to probably leave the Yankees too. What do you
I
think?
mean,
These crazy baseball contracts. Would you think it's necessary to pay one man? And again, I'm not into baseball as much as you, to pay that man that much money. And again, there's no salary cap either. But I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I think the long term, I'm talking 8, 9, 10-year deals are really bad for baseball, especially when a player gets to the age 27 or older. I
Right.
think you're better off. Thinking like Albert Pujols went from the Cardinals to the Angels, 10 years, 310 million, and he was in the end of his career. Then he wound up coming back and he played really well last year. But it's a lot. You sacrifice your future and all that. I think it's better to pay. Like if I'm the Yankees and Aaron Judge wants that guaranteed money, right? But if I'm them, it's better to pay him 150 million for like 3 years or 4 years. Give him a smaller guarantee, but less years, and then see, and then maybe he gets another one on the back end of that. But I think baseball contracts that are 10 years or plus that are a lot of money for somebody that age is a bad investment. I think
Yeah.
historically that's what it's shown us. A lot of the teams that do really well have a good balance of a few vets that have been on for their contracts shorter term, and then a couple of like lower end guys that like rookies on rookie deals and like not making a whole bunch of money. You got to have a mix, but I can see why the Yankees wouldn't want to pay him like 500 million. I think that's a bad decision for them, but it's hard to let a guy walk away that just hit 62 home runs or whatever it was. Like it's crazy, but you have to understand that in baseball, just because you have the best player, it's not basketball. It doesn't mean that you're going to win. So
Yeah. Dash Theory TV came with a really good
yeah, you
comment.
need to have a
Well,
bullpen, some pitching. Yeah,
but
that's
that
very,
makes
very true.
sense. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see you paying a lot of money because they have a significant effect on the game. But I just thought that was really interesting. I mean, we'll see what happens with all of that. In terms of my Giants, who knows at this point? I mean, they're just they should have had that game. They played badly against the Lions. They should have had that one, but they weren't even in the game. This one was a very not easy game, but that was a winnable game. Missed the field goal. They had so many chances. Quarterback is just not that good. So that's where we currently are. So I don't know. Is it possible the Giants will still be fourth place? Yeah, it's possible. Do I have to listen to more Commanders talk? Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to listen to
Looks like
more.
you're going to have to. I mean, they haven't. I mean, they're on kind of a roll. I know they tied, but they've been
Yeah,
playing better football the last month. So
and they may get a new owner, so things may just look really good for them. But to each his own. It's I totally understand. Let me ask you a question. Since we're going into the Christmas movies, actually, I saw. Let me see. I put a poll up on our page. I'm not sure if it got a lot of clicks yet. I just want to see if it did. I don't know if you noticed it.
I did, yeah.
Um, yeah, I just saw someone pop this here. Okay, it was 23 votes, which is still decent. You're in a regular relationship. If you like a thirst trap. Now we all know what a thirst trap pic is, do we? Or do I need to show pictures? I'm gonna have to look. But
Well, let's see.
what's your cat?
Depends.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
I mean, what kind of pictures you got?
Well, I can't put any pictures up here and not get some trouble. But if you're on Instagram and you know the kind of
Yeah,
thirst trap picture,
thirsty.
it's
The boobies are out, the lips, the ass.
we can talk
Yeah,
about and men too. I mean, I don't know if men can. I guess they probably can. We just don't know. But
yeah,
you put a picture that's you are accentuating your physical qualities, if that makes sense, right?
yeah.
And let's say if you are in a relationship, let's say we obviously are in relationships, and our woman likes a picture of a guy's everything, showing his abs, showing his muscles. She likes that picture, right? Do we consider that cheating? And the inverse, if I like or you like a picture on Instagram that's all booty, is that considered cheating? Is that considered something bad? Now, according to our poll, 74% said no, it's not cheating. Yes was 26%. So 26 out of 23 votes. I don't know anything about math, so you guys got to figure that out on your own.
It's pretty good, yeah.
But saying most people feel like it's not cheating. Do you think it's a problem? Well, first of all, let me ask you: do you think it's cheating?
Absolutely, it's not cheating. It depends on your relationship and what you define a normal. I think you put normal, or what was the word in there? Regular. That's that could be
whatever you want to call it.
monogamous. Okay, yeah.
Dating is nothing.
Definitely not cheating in my book and most people. So I'm not surprised by that poll. Now, if you're asking me, do I think it's a problem? I think it could be a problem. It could turn into a problem if the relationship you're not currently in if it's a little shaky, then that could be the catalyst to some arguments and some insecurities and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's on the individual. Definitely not cheating. Now, my question to all the men and women out there: you're on Instagram, you're on whatever groups,
Yeah, the Instagram is the easiest one because all pictures, you're scrolling up and down.
Right. So why even? Is it hearted or like? I think on Instagram you can heart something, right? Similar to
one simple tap. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why even do that? You're leaving evidence. So why don't you just look at the picture, take a screenshot of it if you want. You can look at it any other time you want afterwards. Why do you have to leave evidence that you out there looking at the girls with the big booties, right? So that's my question to anybody that would.
Sometimes you don't even remember doing it. I'm not talking experience, but sometimes you just in there like, I like that. And you're like, okay. I actually like that earlier. That's maybe, but I do agree with the second point. I think first point, yeah, is it cheating? No, because cheating is you obviously doing a little more than just looking at a picture and liking it.
Right.
But the problem, and I don't think it's necessarily a problem for me, but like I said, it depends on your relationship and how sensitive to your partner is to the fact that you are looking, and how long are you looking, and how long you've been just sitting there while she's watching TV and you're sitting there scrolling, liking. But
yeah,
that may be a problem because you're not paying attention to your mate. But I saw that as a title to a video, and I thought that can't be cheating. And the person put it is cheating. Like it depends on the constraints relationship. Okay, we both agree that we're not going to have friends on opposite sex. I think is that it could be that kind of dynamic. Like we're being very, very strict here, so there's no chances of something going wrong, right? Like it's kind of like being proactive instead of reactive. But I think it could be a little bit controlling. Pia says, listen, it's a celebrity that you have no chance of having sex with. It may not be just a celebrity. It may be like a regular, still out my league or out Page's league, but still it's possible.
We can still dream, Pia. Come on. I mean, and I haven't given up on. I got a couple celebrities out there that if your boy ever somehow makes it to be a celebrity, I have hall passes, written documentation from my girl. I have hall passes. So just, know that that's a thing in my life. So
yeah. John says nowadays dudes try to make the thirst trap with a phone with a stack of cash.
Oh, that's so tacky.
Yeah, but the kind of people that you're going to attract, right? When you have that stack of cash, it's not going to be someone that's looking for your best interest in heart.
Ratchets, you're going to get ratchets, man. Yeah,
they want you to separate you from that stack of cash that you got on that phone. And also it's like it's such a young thing. They put a stack of cash near your ear, like money's calling you, like let's go when you're young.
It's weird. Yeah, I think Jay-Z made a song about that. He was kind of taking shots at some of these new rappers. Something like, that's not nothing over here. That's not money over here.
Yeah. Bobby says if you're a woman and thinks it's cheating, then it's cheating. she is the only one whose opinion matters.
Oof, yeah. Listen, not no. I'm good. You know what? If my I'll say this, okay? Madison, she's on Instagram a lot. Okay, I have an Instagram, but she does it.
Right,
It's Mr. Bet on You. She puts pictures of the kid and stuff. I'm not even on there, right? And she's on Instagram, and I see her looking at pictures of stuff, and like it's not like, or it's an attractive woman and she'll like it, or oh, she's cute, or that guy's attractive. Like, I don't, that stuff does not matter to me. Like,
right,
it doesn't bother me. Like, I think we have to realize, what I've come to learn is, we're humans and we're going to be attracted to other people. Like, I would almost feel weirder if my girl wasn't attracted to somebody else, or thought that they were attractive, like, oh, she has nice breasts, or he has a nice smile, and look at his butt, like he looks good in those pants. Like, that you should have, that's healthy to me, to actually like be
right.
turned on. Like, you can't, as long as you're not doing something with it. Like, to me, it'd be more weird if she like didn't do that. That's just me. I don't
Or
know.
pretended that she
Or
didn't
pretended that she didn't.
find it. Yeah, because
Exactly.
eventually
Exactly.
you will find out. Because, like I said, she's a human being, and
Yeah.
we all want to get complimented as well, right? Like we put pictures, and I used to be really bad with that, like really vain, just posting a lot of dumb pictures on Instagram, just I guess trying to find someone to like me or whatever. But I obviously get older, man. Like you just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
There's also like interesting things like, okay, do you find it weird if this is I was coming out of left field, but if a dude said, "I liked your pants," is that weird? We're talking about we all heterosexual men, like obviously
I
homosexual,
guess it depends on the
but
context, but
all right, like we're hanging out, right?
yeah.
And I just, I went. I guess I probably walked in the bar first or something like that. And you came in
Mhm.
after. I say, "Hey, Pedro, those are nice pants you're wearing. Those are mighty fine jeans you're wearing." How would you like? Would you find that weird? Like, there's certain things that I don't know if you approach another man and talk about his pants
Coming from you,
or
I
jeans.
wouldn't. I'd probably laugh. But if I didn't know the guy and he was like, "Hey, I like your jeans," or something, I wouldn't think anything of it. But like, if it's like, if he's looking at me dead in my eyeballs and like looking me up and down, I really like those pants, Pedro. Then I might be like, what? But
First of
I
all,
don't know. Like, I would just laugh that
you
shit
look mighty
off. You
fine
know
in
what I'm
them
saying?
jeans, something
I,
like that. Like, that's a bit much. Like, why are you saying it that
yeah,
way?
yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
I
don't.
agree,
I've
guys.
complimented other men on like, hey, I like that hoodie, I like that shirt, or that jacket's pretty dope. Like, I've done that, but like pants, yeah, I don't know if pants were the one.
Can
Maybe
do
like
pants.
shoes, like, hey, those shoes are dope,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
of
Those are nice.
course. Yeah,
But
because
pants is different because if you're looking at a man's pants, like, you're looking at like, you know what I'm saying. So it is a
if
little
someone,
different.
it depends on where you are. If someone says nice sneakers, be careful. Like there's certain areas. If
Sure.
someone points out like you don't know the person, they like your sneakers, you're like, all right, what
Yeah.
y'all trying to do? What you trying to do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just start trying
Yeah.
to. But yeah, it's probably the way it likes. Yeah, the way you say it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I will say this, women, for all my single men out there, drop a little nugget on y'all right quick. Women, so instead of walking up to a woman and being like, "Hey, you're really beautiful. You're pretty. Girl, you're fine. How can I get your number? Oh my God, you so sexy." Don't say that shit. That's lame as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I
Most
know.
women don't like that. You need to compliment them on something specific. So if you want to get started up a conversation, and she's got some nice shoes on, a nice scarf, she's got a nice jacket, or you notice that her hair looks really nice, compliment her. Hey, your hair looks really good today. I like that style. Or, hey, I like that jacket. Like, be specific with your compliments with women. And if there's any women in the house right now, maybe I'm on base with that, maybe I'm off. But when you're a man and you're just like, hey, you're fine, girl. Let me get your digits. Now, listen, it's not going to end well for you most of the time. Be very specific in your compliments of women, and I think for men as well. But you know what I mean.
You know what? All good. That's actually pretty good. Advice right there from but Bravo's calling you the pimp.
Definitely not. No, definitely
No,
not.
because you have to get like many girls, and they have to give you their money. That's a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work. I don't
a
know.
lot of work. I tried, failed, and it's not worth it
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
Well,
Bobby. Oh, that's funny.
yeah. Look, yeah. Taking notes. Pedro's about to get. Listen, if it does happen, let us know. Put in the comments. Hey, listen, Pedro
Yeah.
advice worked, and it took. And you did more than 5 minutes too. I want you to up to 20 minutes of foreplay. Remember that, guys. We don't do 1 minute foreplay. I mean, Pedro does, but he's a Casanova. The rest
Yes.
of us mortals, we
Yes.
need to be giving her enough attention before you try to put it in, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. It
Fair
has
enough.
nothing to do with me. Okay. So we have the top 5 rapper movies, but also Pedro wanted to talk about Christmas movies. Is it
Yeah.
holiday movies or just it's Christmas movies, right?
Well, holidays were, whatever. I mean, I don't. Are there any other? Are there any other type of movies besides Christmas movies that
Well,
are holiday
I
movies?
have
I
5
guess.
top. I have 5 type Kwanzaa movies. So
Listen, if you've got 5, if you can name me 5 Kwanzaa movies, dude, I salute, man.
shit.
I can't name one Kwanzaa movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's probably no. I'm sure there is a movie, some Kwanzaa movie, but I
Oh,
could.
I'm sure there is. Yeah, I just never watched them
But
before. So.
it's hard. Like, all right, so it's hard for me to get like a real big playlist. I like Christmas episodes of shows. So like
Okay.
name one classic episode from Martin, Married with Children,
Yeah.
Simpson, all those I love those. But movies,
It was more difficult for you?
a little bit difficult because I only watch a very few. And I guess if you have a list, go through your list.
I'll go through my list.
Because mine's
And
pretty simple. Like
I think mine's kind of simple, but I might have one or two that are a little different. Y'all know. Listen, I want to. You
hold
guys
on
let
a
us
second.
know. Go
Look at
ahead.
this comment. I don't even- is it nice because how long it is, Pia? I think that's what she's trying to say. Okay, fair
I
enough.
don't know what she's trying. I mean, I guess.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
That's not the first time I've read that. So probably not the very first time.
All right, so I see some Christmas movies coming in the chat. You guys drop some. I'm gonna give you my 5. I'm gonna start with my honorable mentions first. We will also talk about our 5 movies that have rappers in them, or hip hop movies with rappers.
We got some
in them.
qualifications. We'll break that down a little.
We'll break that down, and we'll go one for one on that when we get there. But let me give you a couple honorable mention Christmas movies. Okay. I have like 9 movies written down, but I'm only going to give you guys 7. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So my first honorable mention is The Grinch, the cartoon version. Okay. So most of us here are the age where we remember maybe you're in middle school or elementary school and you get the Christmas Day and you're watching The Grinch. It's like an 18, 20-minute movie. It's fantastic. It's an easy watch. It's funny. It's musical. It's great. So the Grinch movie, but the cartoon version. The Jim Carrey version is really good, but I like the shorter OG version. Okay, so that's one honorable mention.
Yeah.
Second, Trading Places.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, classic movie right there.
Classic movie, Christmas setting, hilarious. Honorable mention. Almost had it in my top 5. Okay, now let me give you my 5. I'm gonna start with number 5. The 5th Christmas movie for me is Polar Express. Tom Hanks. It's a cartoon. I watched this with my firstborn daughter back in the day, and then my stepkids years ago. It's a good Christmas movie. Pulls at your heartstrings at the end. Great message. So if you don't know Polar Express, check it out. The 4th one, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I think a lot of people might have that as their number 1 movie. Chevy Chase. You got the scene where the girl's coming up out of the water in her bathing suit. He's reminiscing. You got Uncle Buck. You got the dog. You got the squirrel in the tree. You got the crazy grandma. Christmas Vacation, number 4. My 3rd favorite, Home Alone. I actually watched this on Saturday afternoon. I didn't watch the whole movie, but watched most of it. Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin, classic Christmas movie in my book. Sticky Bandits, I think they called them, right? Something like that.
Well, first they were the Wet Bandits, and then
Wet Bandits. That's right.
Sticky.
Yes. Then it was Sticky. So Joe Pesci, one of the best. Yeah. There's so many good scenes, and the screenplay or the writing of that's very good, right? But when Joe Pesci's dressed up as a fake cop in Chicago, right? Yeah. And I watched it, and I caught this for the first time on Saturday. His tie is his little tie pin or whatever is a gun. Okay. Now, most cops aren't going to wear a tie pin and it be like an AK-47. Okay. No, he's got the gold tooth. It's hilarious. Funny movie, right? My second one is Elf. Will Ferrell. Elf. I can watch this. It's hilarious. It's funny. Will Ferrell's phenomenal in the movie. Faison Love. Deutsch. The one girl, I forget her name, but Zoe something. She's funny. Williams Kahn. I mean, awesome. The first one, in my opinion, should be on everybody's. It's a movie that I try to watch every year. It's on CBS every year on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Tearjerker for me. the last 5-10 minutes, I mean, it talks about being a man, giving up on your dreams, having resent, but then realizing you have a family. It's a Wonderful Life. The best Christmas movie. It's on my number one. It's number one for me. It's probably on most people's. Some people have it in their top 20 of all time movies, top 10. That's my list. Wonderful Life, Elf, Home Alone, The National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Polar Express. Those are my 5.
Really nice mix. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have any old movies in my list. Like it was once. What was it called? A Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Have you seen that movie?
A long time ago, and it was too slow. So like, America on 34th Street, super slow. Like this is too slow. I can't keep up. So the only I would say the only I'll call honorable mention I'll put out there is A Christmas Carol. I could probably sit there and watch that. It has some decent elements, kind of similar to It's a Wonderful Life. You kind of realize what's really important in life. You can have as much money as possible. You can have a great success being a businessman, but if you're like a dick, no one cares. You haven't done anything. You didn't put anything out there. So the fact that you get 3 ghosts scaring the shit out of you for a night, kind of changes your mind on a certain thing. So I do like The Christmas Carol. So my list is more slapstick comedy, as I'm just looking at it right now. So yeah. So my 5th is Jingle All the Way. Now I appreciate a few people already writing that in there.
Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Really
okay.
funny movie. Really simple premise. Really is this idiot again. Too busy working. Too busy trying to he's trying to support his family. His wife told him, "Buy this goddamn toy. It's the most popular toy of the year." And we all know this as parents. Yeah. When you take too long to buy this toy, the toy ain't gonna be there. And he tries to find this toy on Christmas Eve, and it just goes crazy. And Sinbad is hilarious. He's like male bag carrier dude that just lost his mind. He's trying to get a toy too. So it's a good movie. Turbo Man. And it's funny, you can find this Turbo Man toy on eBay. I check every year. I'm thinking one of these days I'm gonna make enough money to buy it. The last time I saw it last year was like $800.
What?
It's a real legit toy.
Wow, that's crazy. It's got to be $800 because of the movie. It's not. It wasn't a toy before the movie, right? It's like a cult thing.
I think yeah. So let me see if I look it up real quick. I just want to see if they got Turbo Man figures, because that's the only way I can.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that movie the whole way through. I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some good comment. I just want to see real quick and see if they actually do have it on sale.
Yeah, and see how much it is.
Oh, not too bad. $225. And there's one brand new for $235.
It's crazy because you're buying that and you're not giving it to a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's going to an adult, somebody our age, and they're keeping it in the box. You know?
Oh yeah, no, my son. No, how dare you? No, you can't touch this. This movie came. I don't know what's going on here.
What is it? 55.
It's a movie prop.
What is that? That's crazy.
Which one? Yeah.
Go down. $5,500.
Oh, screen used the mentor and original movie props. So this is, and they got some damaged packagings for $250. So yeah, it's I don't know how well the movie did. I think it did well because at one point, Arnold was making so much money off of each movie. So
it was crazy.
All right, so that went on too long, but yeah, I watch that movie every year at least. The 4th one, A Christmas Story. I like that one. It's kind of the older ones, like in the 1980s, but
yeah,
it still holds up. It still has really cool characters. It's still like themes and stuff that you kind of go through growing up. It's in the 1940s, so it's a little bit more of a retro, obviously, situation. The fact that he wants his gun so bad, and this is like a BB gun, which is probably in the 40s, that's probably the best toy you could possibly have, and obviously that hijinks that went on. So definitely A Christmas Story, and you can still go. I think you can go to their house. I think the house is still there. I think it's in Cleveland. That you can go and check out the house that was there.
Yeah, it's somewhere. Yeah, it's like it's a museum at this point, from what I understand.
So I got that on my 4th. 3rd, Elf. You already mentioned that one. Pretty damn good.
It's
Still
fun. I mean, it's
funny, still
funny.
holds
Yeah.
up. I mean,
Yeah.
Will Ferrell has kind of slipped in the last couple of years in quality movies. Like at one point, he was like throwing out Anchormans around. I was like, damn, this guy's gonna be the funniest man in the world. Then he just, I don't know what happened. And Anchorman 2 came out, and I was like, okay, never mind. But
Yeah.
Elf was a solid, and I remember seeing that in the theater. I must have nothing else going on.
He
But
saw it in the theater, watching Christmas movies in the
yeah,
theater. Oh,
it
damn.
was.
Okay.
Yeah, because Carla was still in college back then. So yeah, it wasn't in New York City or anything. It was upstate. We had a good time. It was cool. Definitely enjoy a little bit of Elf. Where am I at right now? So
You should be at 1 and 2 right now.
all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna slip this in real fast. 1 and 2 is Home Alone. Home Alone is the best Christmas movie ever. It'll beat any other movie you guys can talk about. You can put them on in the comments. Pedro can say it. Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. I mean, you can't
Oh,
beat
you
it.
got both of them.
Both of them.
Oh,
Both
so
of
you
them.
have number 1 is 1 and 2 is 2.
Yep.
Okay,
Home
interesting.
Alone
Interesting.
1, Home Alone 2. You could put for 2. You could switch them up. These two men die at least 47 times in both these movies. Like they have videos, they'll have like breakdowns. Like these men should have been dead from
They
the
should have
very
been
like
dead.
Kevin McAllister committed homicide several times.
Yeah.
There's so many, and you look through the story, there's so many things that doesn't make sense. Like, how's he still able to stay home by himself? I know they're wearing cell phones around, but there's other ways you could think about, like if you did leave your child somewhere, like you could like no family members, nothing. But the fact that he holds his own against these two people who would try to rob his house, and then in the second one, rob an entire toy store full of stuff that's supposed to give to kids, it's a really good movie.
It is. And I'll say this: his character, Kevin, I guess, he was a badass little boy. Like the way he's talking to his mom, and I hate you, and and like the whole family dynamics, and like in the beginning, all those scenes, I'm like my mom would have killed me if I talked to her like that. Much less just go upstairs in the attic. Like what? That's crazy. It's like I don't understand. It's crazy.
And you see how big that house is. So another meme is
crazy.
So this man is able to pay for all his family to go. I think I forgot both movies. He's taking them far places. I think Miami
they're going to France or Paris the first time. Yeah.
How like what job you have where you can pay for everyone to travel with you?
Yeah.
And this big giant mansion of a house that's your house. It's like we kind of look at that and think, oh, when I become an adult, I have a house just like that. Yeah. And you realize,
no, that's not normal. Like that's even back then, even now, but even back then, I was looking at it. I watched the movie on Saturday, and I noticed that as well. The kitchen, like it's all state of the art. It's all you could tell it's 80s, right, early 90s, but back then that was like they had everything. 10 rooms, it looked like. I mean, crazy attic, and then you had in the attic they had like beds, and it looked good. I'm like, what's going on? This is an attic.
Listen, I tell you, when the second Home Alone, when he goes into, because I guess he finds his way to he's finessing people everywhere he goes, and then how he's able to get pizza in a limousine by himself with the TV on, and at that age, just like everyone else is like, wow, is this what it's all going to be about when I'm make some money? Like, let's dream. You're in a limousine, because back then when limousines were actually like something important. Eating pizza, watching Grinch, is there anything better than that? And
no, not really. If you're a 10, 11-year-old kid watching that movie, because I think Macaulay Culkin, he's got to be our age. He's like
he's up there,
my age. I think he's probably closer to my age, maybe even a year or two older than me. And he's just having the time of his life at home. But then you also realize they only last a couple of days. Like he's still a boy, right? So he needs his parents. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about the story. Like there's initial, because that's what is that. That's what I think the theme is. Sometimes we do wish for our family members like to just disappear for a while. I need some space, but then you realize you're lonely, you're scared, and you need them. And you got to go through that. And there's too many kids there. Clearly, that's what he's suffering through, like a middle child. Like there's so many, like the older kid is being a bit of a douche, and the young getting all the attention. So, Elise says he's 42 years old. So he's around.
So he's a year older than me. I thought that was about right.
Matthew said he had a Talk Boy record. I wish I had one. I did not. That's one of the toys I kind of skipped away. I never got a Talk Boy. But who the hell was talking to? I was a nerd. I had nothing to talk to.
I was a nerd.
But yeah, man, solid movies. I'm Oh, I always watch all of the Home Alones. I'm gonna try to watch some of the slower stuff. I'm gonna give It's Wonderful Life another shot. Maybe I sit down and get some drinks so I can stay in one.
Pour your little eggnog or whatever you like,
Yeah,
and it's probably, I don't know how long it is. I don't think it's quite 2 hours, maybe hour 45 minutes. It's not. It's
yeah,
you have to really watch it because it's building characters and there's backstory. But it's sentimental. It'll pull your heartstrings a little bit. It's a good
yeah.
watch. I just recommend watching it at least once.
I will. I will. Yeah, definitely. It definitely has the right, and especially nowadays, how everyone is behaving and acting. Like maybe you need to watch some things. Kind of remind you like what's important in life. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's just jump right into this hippie hop. So this is the idea that came out last week. We have a top five, I guess a personal top five
Yes.
movies that have a rapper in a major role. So I did this for me. I didn't tell Pedro this, but I'll see if he agrees because he'll have his list available too. I did not put Will Smith in it at
Mm,
all
mm.
because I don't like Will Smith. No, it's because Will Smith to me is more of an actor now. He hasn't written a song and I don't know how long. Most people do not see him as a rapper. And I think all of the lists I have is going to be rappers that can out rap him. So I don't know, like if we
Yeah.
said put Will Smith in, he's the best actor in this group. He's actually one of the greatest actors who ever lived.
Yes.
So it's kind of like it's like a ringer. He's just throwing him. We could put all 5 movies of his up there. So I did
Mhm.
not put him in that one. So no Will Smith for me. So I don't know
Okay,
if
I can
that's for
dig it.
you,
I
but
can
you
dig it.
can. It's okay, but
I can
and
dig
also it
it.
makes it more interesting when you don't have to. Will Smith is just cheating. He's just sitting there. Like you could put all the movies up there.
Yeah. If I was going like that, if I, for me, when I thought of Will Smith, I had him. I think I might have him as an honorable mention in one of the movies that he did, but there's a reason for that. But I'm not thinking about some of the other ones he's done. So I get that. That makes sense to me.
Okay, so you want me to go first, or would you?
Kick it off. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a bit tough. But I'm gonna go. I wonder if we could do by the talent of the actor themselves. I'm gonna. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do an honorable mention first. So I'm gonna do
Okay.
an honorable mention. I'm gonna put. You can tell I'm still thinking about this.
Listen, you're not the only one. I have a list.
Okay.
How many movies do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 that I wrote down that I thought were worthy. And I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions and then I got the
Okay.
5. But I still, there's a couple I don't know the order of.
So the honorable mention for me is Juice. Juice is
Okay.
on my apps. Tupac Shakur. I'm blanking on the other 2 actors' names. The other one, the big dude, he's in trouble with the law. I don't know what he was doing with his life. But the chubby dude that was in it, I thought it was a pretty cool, very hip hop oriented. Obviously, it's from the East Coast, that kind of vibe, and it's just a show of group of friends, just at one moment, loving life. Next moment, let's commit a crime.
Mm-hmm.
What I can, and then it just kind of falls through the cracks, and then you realize that hey, one of my friends is a literal sociopath. I guess if you should have realized that in the beginning of the movie, but literally this guy is lost it. Right, like he's like,
Yeah.
I just don't give a fuck. Like, oh shit, he does
Yeah.
look like he doesn't give a fuck. It shows how well acting chops that Tupac had, but clearly he was extremely talented dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have that on my honorable mentions. Pretty sad ending, obviously, but in terms of just dealing with how crazy Tupac was, so that's definitely in my honorable mentions. Should I just jump into 5?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so number 5 for me, 8 Mile. 8 Mile is
Okay.
number 5. It was it. I think Eminem played for anyone who's playing themselves. He said he did it pretty well. He was
He
able very
did. Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
It fit the theme. He was down and out. No one thought he was going to do anything. The Mekhi Phifer and his hair. There's something we could have a long.
Tell me how you feel about that.
Listen, we could have an hour
Uh,
podcast about how people do not respect dreads
mm.
in the movie industry. To a point, you're gonna have to grow them yourself because what the hell was on top of his head? Like, what
Yeah.
was that?
It didn't look good. It didn't look like, you know what I'm saying? And dreads can look good, but also like his just they look ultra fake, right?
They did
Like,
not look good. He's a
yeah,
good actor. No one
yeah.
deserved that. Clearly, everyone that was on that set never been around a person with dreads, or they're just trying to pick up a check. They're like, just put this rag on top of your head. I mean, he's supposed to be the DJ. Like, he's supposed to be trying to make fun of Sway. Not making
I
fun of
mean,
him.
it's not.
Sway is the guy. Like,
It's almost like they had whoever the makeup artist or the costume person, like that was a white person.
yeah, like, like,
They needed to delegate that out to somebody, right? And they didn't. That's
yeah, like
how.
what is going on here? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah.
But the music, I mean, obviously the music comes across. I mean, the music that Eminem put together for that movie, the freestyle battle that happened at the end, he's able to kind of
Mm-hmm.
recover all that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, giggity. His name is Clarence.
Clarence.
And his parents have a real good marriage. We're making fun of a man that has a good life. Like, that's funny with a hip hop battle. We made fun of a man that went to a good school, has two parents that love him. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at that!"
Like, because culturally, that's like you're a sucker, you're a punk.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. You had it easy. You got two parents, and you're Clarence, and yeah, that's funny though.
But yeah,
Okay,
that's
so you got 8 Mile at 5. Okay,
yeah, I got
okay.
5. So you can go ahead. Damn it! Some people put some really good stuff. I mean, I still ain't put mine
There's
up,
some
but
good ones out here. I have. Hannibal gave us one honorable mention, man. I got 11 movies written down. I'm not going to give you guys 6 honorable mentions, okay?
what's
And I
your?
know you
Yeah, go
guys.
ahead.
You guys have probably mentioned some of these movies. We're gonna miss some, I'm sure. But this, as I'm looking at lists, and like I had to go back and in my brain, I'm like rewriting, like, oh man, I forgot about that movie. That one's good. I'm trying to have a good balance. But this is, like Hannibal said, this is our list. This is Hannibal's list, my list, right? This isn't like what I even consider like the best thematic
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this is what I like, and this
This,
is what I
yeah,
remember, right?
most definitely.
Honorable mention. Okay. This one's gonna go back. I don't know if anybody's mentioned this one yet. Set It Off with Queen Latifah and Jada
Oh
Pinkett Smith.
yes. Oh
Good
yeah.
movie. The ladies representing, very different, very unique when it came out. I
My
remember
parents,
watching it as a
my
kid.
parents took me to see that movie.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I should get them in trouble. We're
You should.
definitely in grade school.
Yeah. Well, but think about it. Like, that movie's a little bit ahead of its time. You have a lesbian lead.
Yeah,
Queen
my
Latifah.
father was like, "Close your eyes." I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm
Right.
in the
So.
theater, sir." Close your eyes as you see me. Like, why am I still? All right.
Yeah. No, I had to throw that in there. I think, I think it's a good movie. It was very unique. I remember that growing up, right? One more honorable mention. I got so many here, but Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Bad Boys
I do
1
like
or
that one.
2. I actually
Yeah.
like 2 better than 1. When Bad Boys 2 came out, the soundtrack, I mean,
Oh, you like
Diddy and
that
Nelly and
extra Michael Bay
yeah,
explosion
I
type
mean,
stuff
just
there.
what a awesome movie to see in the theaters.
Mm.
Amazing soundtrack. You got the comedy, you got the swag, you got the women, you got everything you need in a movie just to forget about whatever you got going on in your life for 2 hours. Bad Boys, I'll put 2 over 1 honorable mention. All right, let me give you number 5.
Okay.
So for my 5, I have Paid in Full with
Oh,
Cameron, Mekhi Phifer, and I forget the other guy's name. Really good actor. I like Paid in Full, kind of a gritty, grimy street tale, but in the dope game, the drug game. Movie was kind of written and made based on like real life characters and guys that were living that life. Has some iconic scenes. The scene where they're eating Chinese food and they're putting, stacks of 5, 10, 20,000 on the table, and they're shooting little napkins or whatever they were shooting in the trash can. And I mean, it's got a lot of really cool scenes. And so I have that as Paid in Full as my number 5. It's a street level kind of, a lot of people. It's not like a super popular movie. It's kind of like a street movie in some neighborhoods. But I like it. Paid in Full was number 5 for me.
all right. So let me jump into 4, and it's interesting because it's one of your honorable mentions. Set It Off.
Okay.
I have that number 4. This is a really good movie. Yeah, my parents did send me to watch this movie.
They wanted to watch it. They couldn't get a babysitter. We're bringing Hannibal with us.
Listen, back in the day, everyone went to the movies regardless of what was watched. But man, really good movie. four great actors. Obviously, the Queen Latifah. I think she kind of at one point she was basically she was holding the show, like being Cleo, the badass, like
Yeah.
the tough one. And it's just a bunch of sad situations, like the things that women have to do to make money at certain situations, how desperate they can be, and human beings in general, how desperate you can go be to a point where I have no other option. We got to rob this bank,
Yeah.
right? Let's got to rob this
Yeah.
bank, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the series of bad stuff that happens throughout them trying to run away with this. It actually does kind of tug on your heartstrings. He's like, damn, can these four really nice people figure this out and go happy ever after? And obviously that's not how life works, but with Jenna Pickett, obviously Vinegar Fox, don't remember the last but she was really good, really good.
Yeah. I can't remember her
And
name
then
either. But she's done a lot of
fantastic
other stuff.
soundtrack that came through that. A lot of good songs came. That's what didn't they used to have really good soundtracks coming out their movies? What happened now?
I think that there's still sound, Black Panther soundtrack with Kendrick Lamar was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that's
SZA,
actually
but it's not like it used to be. I think also because the way music's being made, it's all streaming and it's different, and and movies are different now. But there used to be better soundtracks. You're right. Even if you're thinking about like Star Wars movies and stuff with John Williams and all the stuff he would do with the music stuff and the soundtracks just are different, man. I think it's different, and
Yep.
to set it off, I can't remember enough of the songs. But I feel like it had
They had a
a
few
lot of
R&B, like I
different
don't know if
artists,
you,
right?
yeah, if you're into In Vogue,
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
good popular song from In Vogue. I think Queen
Yeah.
Latifah had one. I think it's called Set It Off. There's a few songs because this is 1996. This is the around the area where at least the really to me the best hip hop albums were being made.
And when
96,
R&B too. We had R&B,
yeah,
groups and single guys and women, like it was
yeah.
solos and stuff.
So it's a good amount of. I do remember a really good soundtrack to that. So, oh yes, thank you. While came with Kimberly Elise, really good actress.
Yes, very good.
Extremely good actress. So yeah, the soundtrack game is not as hot, but you like you said, music is being created differently now. You don't know who's getting paid to do what. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, that's mine. I set it off. I could watch that, but it's so sad sometimes. Like I don't feel like watching something that you already know is going to happen, but set off is really good, really good.
Okay, number 4. I've gone back and forth with some of these. For me, my 1 and 2 are going to stay. Number 4, ATL with T.I. and Big Boy. ATL is a very unique movie for me. I watched it a lot. I think it came out maybe early 2000s.
This may be the latest movie that we're probably going to talk about.
Probably. Yeah. A very early 2000s ish. Outkast was hot at that point, right?
Yeah.
A lot of cool different scenes. Shows the South. I'm not from the South. Don't know people from the South, but it's the flavor and the style, the way it's written, the way that it's acted, what you see, the backdrop, the story, the dancing, the roller cake, like all the stuff that they do in there was really intriguing to me because it was very different.
Right.
I believe the actress's name Laura London is in that movie.
Yes.
Fine as can be. Like,
yeah.
When I saw her, I was like, who is this girl with these dimples? I'm like, damn, like that is an attractive woman. I remember thinking like, that's the kind of like girl I, would like. Right. So I like that for that reason as well. But ATL, underrated movie, a little bit different, I know, but I got it in my top 5 just because the significance of the age that I was, the music I was listening to, really getting into hip hop. That's all I was listening to at that time. That movie came out. It was really big in the South, introduced me to like some of the culture stuff that they do in the South. And so I got it at number 4. It's a good movie in my opinion.
All right. What number? 3?
3.
Okay. I'll be honest with you guys. These 3 movies can be all intertwined. That's how much I enjoy these 3 movies. It really doesn't matter to me. So I'm trying to think of how it should go. I know one of the movies you have not mentioned yet, so I don't know if I should jump in. It may not be on your list, but I'm trying to think. All right, which one I want to talk about right now? You know what? I'm gonna go with 3. Friday. Now Friday
Okay.
could be number one.
Friday.
It really
Friday
doesn't
could
matter.
easily be number
It could
one.
be easily. The only reason I'm deducting a little bit of it because the only rapper that was Ice Cube, which
Yeah.
he was the main. He was more like the middleman in a lot of it because a lot of the greatness of Friday is from Chris Tucker
Chris Tucker.
and all those characters that was
John
surrounding this.
Witherspoon and
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I think he wrote it or helped put together. So obviously his name is on it, but
yeah.
it could have been anybody. I mean, Ice Cube. I'll give it to him. Ice Cube has really good facial expressions. So when he looks confused or upset, or he can do that well. So I'll give him that in terms of acting ability.
He's made his whole career on facial expressions.
Yeah,
if you think about it. Even the latest stuff he's done, he's got the facial expressions.
Got his facial expressions, but like Smokey, Chris Tucker, that guy made the movie, man.
Yeah,
and all they needed was $200. like,
yeah, it's
like
crazy.
how do you get fired on your day off?
200. Like, think about that, guys. $200. Now this is then, so it's more now. Maybe it's $500 now, but still, like, man.
Yeah, he's like, well, how do you get fired? He's like, I don't know. They got me moving boxes. He's got me pictures. So, you trying to build a clubhouse? Like, what the fuck are you doing? There's so many memes. There's so many one-liners. It's hey, Miss Parker. Anytime I see a nice older woman, he's like, hey, Miss Parker. Even though that's not her name.
You're right. That's kind of like that's the thing you just say, right? Like naturally, you think about that. Yeah.
He's like, I want to fuck Miss Parker. Like, what you say?
What'd you say, boys? Okay. She was fine though, Miss Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
number three.
Yeah, I don't care about the other Fridays, to be honest. Friday 2 was okay, but the rest just, I don't know what happened to them. But first Friday.
I think we're gonna have similar movies. The third movie I have I have it at 8 Mile is number 3. I think you had it at 5. 8 Mile is I mean, Oscars at 1. The soundtrack. I mean, Eminem playing himself essentially and doing a good job of it. Brittany Murphy's in it. Mekhi Phifer with the stupid dreads that look ridiculous. It's when you think about the battle rap and it's kind of corny, right? The lines and it is kind of it's different, right? It's not Nas and it's not Jay-Z, right? But it's very fitting, right? And it's a classic. It's a classic movie. I mean, most of us have all seen 8 Mile. It's a hip hop classic. And I think Eminem did a really good job even with the acting. So good movie. I got it at number 3. I think it's super relatable also. And I think
it was a hip hop Rocky story. That's all it is.
Absolutely. It's a hip hop Rocky story. And I love Rocky.
Take the first Rocky. No one thought he was going to amount to shit.
Yep.
And at the end, he's able to hold his own and beat the entire group of what do they call them? What do you call that group? What's the bad guy group?
I can't remember, but his friends that he had, the friends group, like the way that they would interact, that's very, true. You know what I'm saying? They're joking around with each other. There's always one guy in the group that's kind of the doofus, and always gets made fun of. And there's one that it's good. I got it at number 3 for me. So
Mom Spaghetti. Why that went as a meme? I don't know, but now I always say Mom Spaghetti, which I like spaghetti. So
and shout out to Kim Basinger in that movie.
She
plays the mom. I mean,
definitely. Okay, so I got 2 more 11. I could still go back and forth. You know what? Okay, Boys in the Hood is gonna be my number 2.
Ooh. Number 2. Damn, who does he got at 1? Okay, I think I know who he's got at 1. Okay.
It's a bias. It's a bias pick, but whatevs.
All right, now I really know. Okay.
Yeah. Boys in the Hood. I mean, it started Ice Cube's career in terms of acting. He looked at director John Singletary's vision and how they put a movie together and got so fascinated with it, and he moved on to do what he's doing right now. There's so many layers to this, right? It's a coming of age story of these kids in this neighborhood and how some make it, some don't. The fact that there's a father, one set of kids have, or one kid has a father, one doesn't. Gang life, trying to have a relationship, dealing with cops. And it wasn't too preachy, it wasn't like Belly. Like I know a lot of guys have Belly in theirs. Belly the guy was trying to be like Boys in the Hood, trying to force feed something. He just with this movie, they just showed it. Like, this is what happens. This is only a story in a very few people's lives. It's not everywhere, obviously, right?
Yeah.
How in certain households, how it could be you and your stepbrother, or not half brother. You guys are brother. You have the same mom, and the mom will treat one child differently over another one. I'm sure people don't under probably can't. They probably see them like, wow, that's how's that happening? It happens a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So I really, really liked a little bit of everything in that movie. And obviously it has, some action parts and some emotional parts, obviously, but it's probably one of the most significant movies, especially as rappers acting. Like, who else is who's gonna put Ice Cube in a movie? Like, I don't think he acted before this, but he
Yeah.
fit it. I mean, that was
Oh,
dope.
he did. He did phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I mean, he did. He
Yeah.
did great.
And I forgot Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie
Lawrence Fishburne,
as a
fantastic.
father,
Cuba
which
Gooding
is
Jr. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, Angela Bassett,
Yeah, really good
fantastic.
actors, and it was important to the kind of messaging that was coming from that movie. I think was pretty important.
Yeah, for sure. So I have Friday as number 2.
All right.
So I think, yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. I've watched that movie a lot. I think it's a movie that a lot of us we could watch it and we know so many different lines and words, and
Yeah.
you could speak about, you could talk it out as you're watching it. It's a classic movie. I mean, it's hilarious. It's an easy watch, right? I think
I
it's a
can watch it
movie.
right now and laugh. Like I can
Exactly. I think
watch
it's
it
a
right now.
movie. If you're flipping through the cable and it comes on, you stopping for a minute, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
might not
definitely.
watch the whole thing, but you're stopping. You're not skipping that, right? And great characters. And what I like most about it is this all takes place in like one day, right? Or
Yeah,
one
it's
one
Friday.
afternoon, a little bit. So I think it's awesome that they can do that, and it's very symbolic of living in the hood and you dealing with these things. And you got the Miss Parker, you got the neighborhood tough guy, you
Yeah.
got the dope man driving down the street. You got the what's the girl's name? Bye Felicia, the
Yeah, trying to
neighborhood
sell
girl,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the crazy pops, right? Like you got the sister, you got this, you got that.
We
Like
forgot Nia Long was in there
Nia Long's in the
jogging.
movie. I mean, it's
She's just running
phenomenal. You
for
got
no reason.
yeah, you got Chris Tucker's character, right? He's talking to this one chick, right? And he doesn't know what she looks like. And she shows up and he's surprised. But actually, she told him on the phone what she looked like, but we've all
Yeah.
had those moments as men, like, oh, you're excited. It's the things that all fit within a day in the summertime. And you got fired on your day off. It's absolutely the screenplay, the writing is on point.
Yeah.
Ice Cube masterpiece. I have it as my number 2.
I couldn't argue with that one. It was just he's like, and the big girl's like, "What we up to?" He's like, "Not a damn thing."
Not a damn thing. I think you called her Freddie Jackson or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, he thought he was supposed to look like Latoya Jackson. I forgot. It's like a little more like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you can't make fun of fat people anymore. So a lot of those
yeah.
jokes, I don't think you can put and then and then his father, rest in peace, John Witherspoon. But damn, he was a good father in that one. Just yelling at him like,
Yeah.
why, what are you doing? Why are you still here? Take the garbage out. Totally take the garbage out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
simple stuff. So yeah, I couldn't argue with that.
Oh, and the mom, in the morning, I think he's trying to eat cereal and there's no
Yeah.
milk and just put some water in it. I've had my mother tell me that before. Like I've had to put
I'm
water in cereal.
sorry.
Little
Yeah.
things like that, like you just remember. So
Yeah. Say, listen, money is not as easy to come by. You better put some more.
yeah, you
You put
better
some
put
more
some
in that
water in
damn
there.
shit. That's it.
Yep, yep. Like put water. So what we used to do sometimes, like we grew up poor for a couple years. It was tough, right? I remember, but like we do the water. This isn't often, but we've had, and then we would just add sugar to the
Yeah.
cereal. You know what I'm saying? To make it a little more flavorful. So that's my
Yeah.
childhood in a nutshell. So.
Oh, Bobby came in with a comment. O'Shea Jackson, best rapper turned actor, aside from Will Smith, it doesn't count. Well, Pedro put in a Bad Boys in there, so I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Yeah, we're okay. I mean, Will Smith acts. I mean, he'll probably act his ass around Ice Cube.
Yeah,
But
it's different. There's levels to this.
But rapping level to yeah, like Ice Cube was one of the best lyricists ever. So it kind of worked. I just didn't want Will Smith because I felt like it was just too easy. But obviously he is a rapper, and if it was a true rapper list, then I think just take 5 really good Will Smith movies. I don't know if it'll just hold up. It'll just be up here. I mean, I don't know. So let me tell you my number one movie. It goes without saying. If you were
Yeah.
around 1991, if you lived your entire life, around our time, like I'll be 30. I'm 38 and I'll be 39 next year. You have already know the masterpiece from Wesley Snipes
Mm.
and Ice Cube and Mario
Hmm.
Van Peebles
Mario
and
Van Peebles.
yes, yeah, another. Hey, this guy he put some effort back in the day. I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully he's still
Yeah.
around. New Jack City is amazing. Now, I couldn't. I mean, it's pretty obvious why it's amazing. I mean, you got the Carter, you got this big giant, like imagine able to pull like some kind of crack. What is a crack empire over a project? Took an entire project over and started selling crack. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it
Oh,
happened back
well,
in
yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube infiltrates this organization because first of all, he looks like he could be one of those drug dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny how he started as a cop in this movie, and now he was a cop for the last like 30 years in the SVU
Yeah.
TV show. Because at first he laughed off like maybe a cop. I run away from I fight
He's
cops
made his entire rest of his second half of his career that. So
being cops, right? Like that's
yeah.
the irony. The music is on point. I mean, if you love that early 90s kind of like New Jack sound is kind of like it's kind of like R&B but a little bit more up tempo. So the soundtrack was really good. um Wesley Snipes was a maniac, like
Maniac.
Tony Montana. Like I don't care about anyone by myself. I don't care. He'll kill anybody. So he was vicious, and he kind of held his own with Ice-T. So like both of those characters were going back, and in fact that Ice-T's character is infiltrating. He's undercover trying to infiltrate this thing. Had Chris Rock in it. Pookie. Pookie went down kind of crazy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot
um,
Chris Rock was in that movie. He is. Yeah.
the style, they do go in the club, they do some dancing, they got a little bit of everything. Um, really, really good movie. I could probably watch New Jack City over and over and over again. Big, big, big fan of all. And then that one song, Christopher Williams. Christopher Williams used to be like that dude for like, I don't know, maybe a year. That one song Dreaming. I could put that
Hmm.
on, listen to that 10 times out of 10. So that's my one. That's my list. Again, I could watch all these movies over and over again, but New Jack City, especially the beginning, that scene they have, I forgot they definitely sampled Stevie Wonder's songs.
Hmm.
Really good movie, man.
I haven't seen that movie in a while, very long time, but it's obviously a classic. There are some scenes that strike out to me. Wesley Snipes walking into his like infantry of guys, his soldiers, and he's got the chain and the sword or something at some point,
Yeah,
or
so
just
yeah. Martin
there's
did a
just
really
some
good parody of
yeah,
that scene.
yeah, just some really cool scenes in that movie. I need to watch it again because I
It,
think there's a lot that I forgot. But it's obviously a classic. Not
it,
surprised it's Hannibal's number one. I'm just not. I'm
well,
just not.
because New York, and that
Yeah.
scene makes sense. Imagine you about to have a business meeting, and one of your people managed to destroy a $2 million a week business.
Oh yeah.
I think you'd be a little stabby too.
Probably a little more than stabby. Yeah. A little shooty, maybe. But yeah. Okay, so that's your one.
Yeah.
My one is one that you mentioned already. Boys in the Hood to me is a
Oh,
classic
yeah.
movie. If you're gonna talk culture, hip hop, you're gonna talk culture, you're gonna talk the setting and what was happening in this country around that time with the police and everything else, and the family dynamics, and Lawrence Fishburne playing a father and taking his son back into his home to help him become a man, right?
Right.
Um, and the mom feeling some time away about it, but realizing it has to happen. And he he goes back to his neighborhood. He's back with his friends. Um, you got the sports superstar, then you got the guy that's just in the hood, and the mom's like loving the sports guy because he's the golden child.
Yeah.
But for me, like it's Ice Cube is so good in that movie, right? And Cuba Gooding Jr. is the seasoned actor, but Ice Cube carries a lot of these scenes, whether it's with his facial expressions, his body language.
He lived
It's
through it
very
somehow.
yes, it's very natural for him because I think that was his surroundings. He's not too far removed from that in some ways, right? So it's just a phenomenal movie. If that movie comes on, I could always watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
It has like that, the scene where they see the dead body and the older kids are kind of, giving them some flack or whatever, but they're, Doughboy stand up for himself. Iconic scene throwing that football. The one guy's like, "Give me the football." He throws him the football back, and just
Yeah.
little things like that you remember, little moments like that you remember as a kid. You would remember seeing a dead body, and these run-ins with these older kids. But then the guy gives you the football back. Like little things like that shape you and who you can
Yeah.
become. But then also the tragedy of why is he run? Why is this football star running in a straight line? That's the one thing the movie got wrong,
Ricky,
right? Come on, Ricky. Come
Ricky.
on, Ricky. Come on. You about
And
to
you
go
can
to
still
USC, bro.
and you can still have like you still hear those references in rap, like rap right now. From
Yeah,
people who didn't, were not alive when that movie came out, will still say "Run, Ricky, Run." Like
yeah.
Pop Smoke was putting "Run, Ricky." Like, how will Pop Smoke? Pop Smoke died when he was 20 something. He was
Crazy,
not alive when this movie came out. Just
crazy.
that's how connected people are to that movie. Where they'll still throw in those type, even for the rest of them. Set off New Jack City. Um, I think, I think Antonio Brown stole that haircut from. Well, did he? One of them stole the
Yeah, yeah,
stole the the Nino Brown haircut
yeah,
for a while, but
yeah. I
and
mean,
it,
good. I think we got some good lists. There's so many other movies that are um, culturally based around hip hop that we haven't even mentioned. That I grew up on, but they don't have like a rapper in it. There's a lot of other one. Menace to Society. It's one of the movies I saw, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's so grimy, and like I
yeah,
liked movies like that. But that had Lorenz Tate, um, and I forget the other guy's name, but he's been in some other things. Um,
yeah.
but
You
there's
watch
just a
that
lot of other movies.
Men's Society is a good one. It's from the Huge Brothers. There's two guys
Yes.
that directed. Dead Presidents is another really good one. All
Mhm.
sad. So I'll let you know, guys. Now it's all sad shit, but it's a
Yeah.
good, well done movie. And if you want a good sound, just Christopher Williams dreaming. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put it on right now, but I know we're trying to worry about copyright like we make any money, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Giggity talking about Tropic Thunder.
No, I'm good. Good movie though. Hold on, hold up?
Fantastic.
With Brandon T. Jackson playing a rapper, Alpha Chino. Wow, yeah.
Tropic Thunder. I mean, it's not a rapper movie, but goddamn, that movie was funny.
They
I
couldn't
seen
make
that
that
in
movie
the
today. Do you
theater.
think they could make that movie today?
Hell no. No
But
one wants
that movie's not even that old. Why? So much has shifted, right? Like Robert Downey Jr. could not play that character right
no.
now today in
He
2022.
talked about it. I think it was on Joe Rogan. He said there were more back then. There was more flack for Ben Stiller doing the simple Jack thing than him wearing blackface.
Wearing blackface.
He's like, oh, thank goodness for Ben Stiller,
Yeah,
because
I know, it's
Ben,
crazy, right?
because you can't go full retard, so you can't. Yeah, you can't do that, man. You can't make those kind of movies. And I think maybe eventually we will get back to that at a certain point, because you look at certain shows, they're not lasting long. People are not watching them. I think Disney keeps losing money. I know they don't make that kind of programming, but eventually people gonna realize, hey, no one's watching this crap you keep like we've just talked about movies that are 30 years old. Like
Yeah,
there's movies being made all the time, and none of
yeah.
them are. There's nothing that's grabbing us to a point where we gotta watch that. TV shows, sure, but not.
Movies. Well, do you think it could have something to do with attention span? Like we currently now are at a time where we want things really quick, and what we consume as far as content, we want it shorter. We want shorter amounts, and we want it like right away. We don't want to wait. We don't want a drawn out story, right? We
Right.
want. So do you think it could be that? Like we'd rather watch an hour or 30 minutes or 45 minutes versus committing 2.5 hours to a movie?
It's possible, but there are certain movies that still do pretty well. Like, for instance, any Marvel movie, like the Black Panther stuff, where I did
Yeah.
not go watch it because it's 2 hours and 40 something minutes. I don't want to watch.
I
I
haven't
can't
seen
deal
the
with
new
that one.
one yet either, but I'm going to, but I
Yeah.
haven't yet. Yeah.
So the Marvel still holds up. Like I was all forced to watch the End Games and Spider-Man. So like if we can do it for that, then I'm sure we can. It's just the trust is not there for the people who are financing this. It's like we don't trust that people are going to show up to this thing. So we're going to
Yeah.
make the same movie, the fifth one, right? Like you're
Yeah.
going to get a certain amount of people going to watch Fast and Furious. But I don't like. I'm tuning out, and I would not mind watching brand new original content of something, of a story.
Yeah.
Like I may actually watch this Christmas movie, Violent Christmas, or Violent something,
I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard
just
about that.
because it's something different.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully it's good, but I wouldn't mind watching something different,
Yeah.
instead of watching the same crap. So
Yeah. I'm not a big like I like some of the Marvel stuff or even some of the DC, but as a kid growing up, I wasn't like into comic books and didn't really wasn't into a lot of that. So, but I can definitely say this: like, there's too many of these kind of movies. There's too many big blockbuster, cartoony, marvelly, like superhero. Like it's all been done. I
yeah,
like the darker ones. Like I did like some of the newer like the Batmans were pretty good. Like the Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman, where it was a little darker and it was like not with the
Logan, right?
X-Men. I thought that was good. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was good. Like I like some of that kind of stuff, but all the it's like all the fight scenes, they're hard to follow. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. If you've seen a car chase, you've seen a car chase. You've seen Hulk smash somebody. You've seen Captain America beat somebody up. Like it's all just too much. It's like the same movie. Fast and
that
Furious. It's just the
saturated.
same stuff. Yeah. So some original content would be good. I think it's there, but they make it harder to find because you have these shows that might be on like Amazon Prime or Hulu or this or that, and you got to have a paid subscription in order to even find it. So I think there's some good content there, but it's not. You can't find it on channel on ABC, NBC, ABC. It's just
Yeah,
not like it
and
used to be. You know,
no, I
you got
think
to pay for it now.
they went with reality shows because I think those are cheaper to make and you can make more money off it because are you
Yeah,
paying those people? Probably not that much money. All you gotta do is get
yeah,
a big house and some setups, and you instead of spending hundreds of $1 million on a show, you can spend a fraction of that to watch these two dummies fight over, I don't know, a watermelon or something. I don't.
yeah.
I stopped watching those type of reality shows around, I think, Flavor of Love. Once Flavor of Love went, and I was like, this is
Flavor of love.
outrageous. I was like, yeah, this is stupid. I'm out. Like this is like,
Yeah,
like I watched. I'm like, this is really bad. And then like there's spinoffs of that show, and
yeah.
I watched the spinoff. Like, yeah, I'm done. Like this is
What's
the
the one
highest
with Ray
quality.
J? Doesn't Ray J have a show where he dates like and
They,
smashes like 40 broads
they
in a
all
week or
do.
something?
Yeah. Then the
Yeah,
women, even the women that didn't get
yeah,
picked, they have a show. So
yeah, yeah.
it's pretty bad. It's
Love
pretty
and Hip Hop or something, right? Isn't that what it is? And they have like all these spin-offs off of that or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then they got ones with just about people working at a tattoo place, Black Ink. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching
yeah,
any of this shit. Give me
yeah.
some more Tropic Thunder, right? Make
It's just
another
not.
one.
That's not happening. I'm gonna watch. I might watch that movie this week, like on Saturday, because
It's
it's been a while since I've
so
watched that. And
funny.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
Jack Black fan. I think Jack Black. I don't know
Oh
why.
yeah.
I think he's hilarious in
He's a
some of
little
the
weird
things
in
he
this
does.
one. He's like on drugs, but he's
Is
kind
he?
of
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. I
And
like
then
Jack
Tom
Black.
Cruise at the end. Oh my god, what was this
That's
guy's
the
name?
best time. I am not a Tom Cruise fan, but him being not cool because in all his movies, okay,
He's
I
too
want you
cool.
to you guys could fact check this. In all his movies, his popular movies, he plays the same fucking character. He's the same dude. He's a guy that used to be good at something, and then he needs to meet somebody to tell him, Tom, you're still good at it. You're still good at it. Just keep going at it. And then he becomes good again. Every Tom Cruise movie is
Yeah.
the same. Every Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, for man to look that way, at how old he is, I don't know what it is
Yeah.
that he drinking that I don't know, Scientology juice. I don't know
Scientology
what
juice.
it is.
Yeah, they gave him something. I
What?
saw me and
Yeah,
my girl this weekend we rented the movie he was just in, the big blockbuster this year, Top Gun.
yeah, Maverick.
And it was okay. Or Maverick, yeah.
Yeah.
But I noticed his face. Something was not right. They did some CGI. They did some smoothing around his jawline. I was very taken back by that.
No,
So Tom
Nova
Cruise,
says it's
not a
just
big fan.
plastic surgery.
Yeah, he
Probably,
looks bad.
I'm sure he has some work done.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
yeah,
does. Hey, listen, when your amount of money you can make is about your face, then you're gonna do whatever it takes to get your face to in a certain spot. So I can't complain.
yeah. I guess. I mean,
Um,
he's all right.
I'm gonna throw it. I know we already talked about the movies, but The Nightmare Before Christmas, I just saw that for like the first time a couple months ago.
Tim Burton.
But
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
that's a really good, quick, kind of fits
Yeah.
both. And I sat there and watched the entire thing. It was an hour and change. So I know there's still, at least it's for me, a place where if I can watch something interesting and engaging enough, that I can sit down for an hour and change. It's just, can we find that? Is it there? I'm sure it is, but we'll see. I'm gonna check out the Violent Night. I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yeah. I saw something about that. Maybe it just came out like this weekend or this week, right? It's
Yeah,
very
something
very
really,
new. Yeah.
yeah, something really
I'll have to check that out.
yeah. And then also next episode, I looked at I looked at this video, and I guess this particular person was saying how happier women are being single. And we're gonna check out her, but she has, her little perspective, and we'll see if
Happier.
we
Okay.
agree. But women
Okay.
should women be bothered trying to have a kid, trying to have a mate, because they may be happier. Maybe those kids and that husband that keeps bothering them about, wait, why you didn't buy the milk? Hey, why you didn't maybe weighing the women down. Maybe she's like,
Oh.
why am I even doing this? So we're gonna talk about that on Wednesday and have Pedro's.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Okay, this will be good. Yeah, this will be good.
Well, on that note, another really fast hour and 15 minutes just flew by. Appreciate you guys for coming in.
Yes.
Yes, definitely Collateral. Collateral was different for Tom Cruise.
Collateral was good. He played a bad guy though. When he plays the good guy, the boy next door, it's trash in my opinion. I don't like him. But when he plays a bad guy or somebody in Tropic Thunder, he's really good. Yeah.
Definitely. Hector, I did not watch Power. Eventually, I should watch Power. So I'm not sure about Method Man. I know Method Man looked pretty good. He was killing it, but I didn't watch that show. But we got a lot of time to check it out. All right, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch us, and we'll guys see you on Wednesday.
Peace.
Peace.